The type of birds oftentimes that are found seen in these really large flocks are snow geese and white-fronted geese. Canada geese also come here in large flocks as well, but the snow geese I'd say are really the most noticeable because we get tens of thousands of them and it's really beautiful. It's very, very, it's quite a phenomenon to see because they'll roost um, on the same lake oftentimes in these big groups of just like 100,000 geese. And so it's just a huge raft of geese that are like mostly white. And then when you see them come off of the ponds, they're really beautiful because they have the swirling effect. So that's probably one of the nicest natural phenomenons that I like to watch during the winter in Indiana, because it's just really cool to see like so many geese together all at once and then them cooperating and not, you know, like running into each other or anything like that. They are able to be in such huge groups without really being a danger to themselves, which is kind of cool. So those are probably the birds that were being seen, were like the snow geese as well as the white-fronted geese. They're very cute. I find them to be, they have shorter necks and cuter heads. So I like seeing them again every year just because they're pretty cute.
Initially, when you said, they're eating the waste grains, I was thinking, is that a negative for the farmers? But then I was thinking, well, they're probably also leaving a lot of manure behind, I guess,
Yeah.
for a better term. So is it a benefit to have these birds in your fields, I guess?
I actually never thought of that as a benefit. I know it's definitely not a con. There's definitely not a problem with having them in the fields. They end up really just kind of cleaning up after all the corn that was left behind, because perhaps like there was a lot that was just not picked up by the machinery. And so they're they aren't doing any harm, I'd say. But as to benefit, I'm not sure. That's a very good question. They definitely do leave a lot of manure behind. So maybe it does have a benefit, but it hasn't really been scientifically examined. And the reason why you end up getting a whole bunch of birds in fields, usually during the day, is because they are here specifically to feed on all that waste grain in the fields. And so those, the waste grain like corn or soybeans can be really full of energy rich nutrients. It's very high calorie type of food that allows them to be able to bulk up for these really cold wintry nights. And that's why they're all together. Another reason why they end up flocking in a group is because it allows them to have a lot of different eyes on the landscape, so that if predators are around, one of them can at least let them know, like, hey, somebody's here that might want to potentially eat us. So I will alert everybody else. So working as a group is very beneficial. And when they're in these large open fields, it also gives them this wonderful vantage point to be able to see all around them, rather than such as in a forest, for example, where you can't see much around you and see who might be spying on you while you're vulnerable and eating and your head is down. So that's why the geese like to flock together in these foraging groups.
Okay. It's just interesting that you say that they actually are coming here. As a kid, I guess, just always hearing, birds migrate from the north to the south. I always assumed that they were passing by us in this area, because that this was the destination. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is actually really interesting, just because oftentimes I also thought of the same thing. You'd think they go down to Florida or like sunny Alabama or something like that, but really what they're trying to do is just get to the closest place that has I'd say the conditions that are mild enough so that they can survive the cold winter, but still be close enough to their grounds where they breed, because they want to be able to have a much shorter journey. They don't want to take a really long journey to get back there, mainly because migration is a really risky thing. It involves such things as like running into power lines or all these different human constructed environments that they have to deal with, and a bunch of different predators that they might have never experienced before. And that's a huge risk to them when they are migrating. And so the best thing to do is just stay as close as you can, but where you can still survive uh, to your breeding ground so that you can be able to get back there as soon as possible when you are ready to go and nest.